Legendary!
What is up guys, Kris05 coming at you with another video. Today I want to teach you guys how you can get a better idea of what the meta is and how you can use that to your advantage. If you follow these tips and throw in some dedication, you should be able to reach a new top rank for yourself, and I'm sure this will help some of you make that final leap from rank 5 to legend. I would love to hear what your current top rank is and what's your goal for next season too, so drop a comment below, and if you found this helpful, please drop a subscribe as well. Let's get into it. The sites I'll be using for this meta report are Vicious Syndicate and Tempostorm. As some of you know, I'm a huge fan of Tempostorm, but as time passed, now I can tell you Tempostorm is far from enough for you to have an educated view on the current meta, and here's where Vicious Syndicate comes into play. Tempostorm is a lot easier to understand, but trust me, if you want to have all of the current information for the meta, Vicious Syndicate is the way to go. But you can still use Tempostorm for mulligan information and for an overall idea of the decks you would like to play. I just want to say, I'm not sponsored by those sites or anything. I just really enjoy their services and genuinely think you can benefit from them. By the way, Dexter Gaming is doing videos like this on his channel at the beginning of every month, so be sure to check him out. He's a really cool dude, and I'm sure you can learn a lot from him as well. Okay, let's dig into Vicious Syndicate's charts. I will concentrate on the overall charts and the charts through rank 4 to 1, but you can check out the charts for your current rank from the site. First, let's look at the class frequency. As you can see, Warlock, Druid, Hunter and Rogue are the most popular classes for the all ranks chart and for rank 4 to 1 chart. This provides very valuable information when deciding what deck you would like to play, and especially when you're in the mulligan phase. If you're playing versus a Warlock for instance, this chart shows you that you will be facing Zoolock 50% of the time, and it would probably be a good idea to mulligan accordingly. If you're not playing with the coin and you don't see the Gang Greymane animation, the chance for this to be Zoolock rises to more than 80%. And with this information, you will be able to play accordingly for your first turn. For Druid, you can't really use this tactic, since there are so many archetypes out there, but for Hunter and Rogue, you will be better off if you mulligan against Death Rattle Hunter and Odd Rogue. I know this might seem insignificant to some of you, but trust me, every little bit of advantage helps you climb those ranks a lot faster in Hearthstone. It beats trying to figure out what conspiracy is stopping you from climbing, that's for sure. Next, let's look at the class frequency from the point where Boomsday came out to September 25th. As you can see, ever since Boomsday came out, Warlock, Druid, Rogue and Hunter were the top played classes from day one. I think it's safe to say that the meta is stable enough for you to be comfortable to pick a deck to craft and climb some ranks, but be aware that we might see some balance changes, aka nerfs, by the end of October. Like I told you in my last video, Giggly Inventor and Quest Rogue are in the scopes for a nerf, but you can check the video if you want to hear more about that. Now let's check out the power rankings according to Vicious Syndicate and Tempostorm. I strongly advise you not to take Tempostorm's word for these, because they are done really subjectively, and you can never be sure how accurate they are, because they're based on opinions of experts. What I prefer to do is use Vicious Syndicate's report and use Tempostorm's guide and mulligans when I want to pick up a new deck and start climbing with it. So according to VS, Token Druid, Even Shaman, Even Warlock and Odd Warrior are tier 1 right now, both for all ranks and for rank 4 to 1. These tier scores are defined by two factors, the number of players playing these decks and the win percent of the decks. On the next chart, you will be able to see that a little more clearly. We have the frequency score going up and we have the power score going to the right. The chart shows that right now the most popular deck is Zoolock, and I doubt anyone is surprised here. The fact that this deck is so simple to pilot and not expensive to craft are the two main factors for its popularity. If you want to be ahead of the competition though, it would be far better for you to pick a low frequency deck with a high win rate. From the all chart, you can see that Even Shaman is killing it on its win rates, but not many people have discovered how powerful it is in the current meta, so you can use that to your advantage. On this lower right quadrant, usually you can find more expensive decks that are also a bit harder to pilot as well, so if you have some extra dust and time to master the deck, you will see some great results in no time. I know some of you will say, if this is the zone for hard and expensive decks, then why the hell is Odd Pally there? And the answer is simple. The meta was against this deck for quite a while, but with decks like Odd and Quest Rogue and Death Rattle Hunter, Odd Paladin is starting to regain its power, but most people haven't figured that out yet, so you might want to give it a try again. Now this next segment is very important, knowing whether you are favored or at a disadvantage against the opposing deck. With this chart, you can see how strong or weak are the decks on the left against any of the decks on the top. For example, let's see how Death Rattle Hunter is doing. You can check out how I hit Legend with this deck right here, by the way. So the colors here mean the following. Bad matchups are red and good matchups are green. Depending on how dark or light a color is, you can see how good or bad a matchup is. White means that there isn't enough data for this particular matchup, and black is used for the same deck versus the same deck, meaning 50%. Okay, so for Death Rattle Hunter, we can see that it's great versus all Druid decks except Token. Generally, it is good against slower decks, but Odd Paladin, Quest and Odd Rogue and Zoolock are its true weakness. You can also check what the win rates are for your rank, but you will lack data for some matchups, so use both charts. And finally, let me show you an example of how you can use Vicious Syndicate to pick up your new deck and use Tempostorm to help you get a better feel of it faster. Let's take Odd Paladin for instance, since it's rising in power once more. Take the deck code from Vicious Syndicate and now check out Tempostorm's guide about it. When we compare the decks, there are several differences, but you can still have a pretty good idea of what you are supposed to mulligan using Tempostorm's mulligan suggestions. I'm sure they will update their information next week, so they will probably move closer to Vicious Syndicate's list anyway. If you guys want to check out more cool deck ideas for the next season, make sure to check out Dexter's Meta Report as well. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope this helps you climb ranks easier in the new season. And don't forget to check out World of Duels if you want to start earning money from your Hearthstone skills. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05 and I'll see you in my next video.